So yes, this is me in real life. It's been a while. Yeah, sorry for the late arrival. A lot has gone on in the past week, mainly work stuff, but you may have also seen, obviously, it was St. Patrick's Day and Red Nose Day, which is Comic Relief on Friday. So I actually did a little bit of a tune for that and some typography of St. Patrick's Day. It's on my Instagram and TikTok, which I'll link at the end of the video. And I'll also put them down in the description as well. And I also did a bit of typography for Mother's Day. Again, I'll put links in the description for my socials at the end of the video. Also in the description, yeah. But if you don't know me, my name is Will, and I like to run the Creatures and Characters channel. And today is actually the first video of what I've chosen to be Monochrome March. Again, it is a bit late because of things that have been going on. And therefore this time around, as you've probably guessed if you saw the YouTube, Instagram or TikTok short, I happen to be doing shadow art, which is a concept that I've been wanting to try for a while because I do find it quite interesting. And obviously watch the whole video all the way through just to make sure you get the full experience. So yeah, this is kind of a tutorial, but it also has something a bit special in it. Something that I haven't planned for, but it should go quite well. Now, personally, I've never tried this, but I have always found it to be, well, an interesting concept, as it forces you to create something through some sort of abstract construct based on whatever, well, what the objects you use. And you can see here that I'm already making shadows with just my body and my hands as well, but we're going to try some more irregular shaped things, or even like multiple things as well. So yeah, we're going to give this a whirl, and I want to try at least 4 ways to do this. Now in March, it was also Dr. Seuss's birthday, so as one of the drawings, I'm going to be trying in Dr. Seuss style, and then we're going to try some other couple styles as we go through it. So I'll probably do a character, Dr. Seuss, some sort of vehicle, a structure, and I'll try reverse style as well. So what I mean by that is using the negative space around the image rather than using the actual shadow. So what I'll do is draw a bunch of like irregular shapes on the page, 4 irregular shapes to take up the whole page, and then we'll put these shadows in them and just try and make it look really cool. So yeah, let's go. So I've got my items. Now, of course, I could just go ahead and trace them, but that would be a bit boring. So I'm actually going to put them at perspective when I go ahead and put shadow forms in. And obviously, this light here actually has multiple bulbs. So that will make for some interesting, well, shading effects, but also a sort of transparent and translucent sort of degree of shadow on this thing. So let's have a go at this. So that's the outlines done. We've got the giraffe that we used. That is from the sort of train cart thing we used. That's from the knife we used. And this is from the phone case I used. This is going to be slightly more rough. This is going to be Dr. Seuss style. This is going to be quite smooth. This is going to be sort of toony. This is the one I'm going to use reverse space for though. So creature, vehicle, structure, character. That's how it's going to play out. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and just add a bit of pen. Okay, so these are actually looking pretty darn good, and I'm quite happy with how they've turned out. So I've actually named these things as well, because I know I'd said I'd do like 1 or 2 universe editions a month, but because March has been a bit of a slow movement, I decided maybe I should add all of these. First we've got the Slavi, which is not actually an oceanic creature, but rather one that can manipulate air currents and glide through the sky with its vast fins. This is not actually a breathing hole on top. This is a defense mechanism, and it basically, well, essentially, it shoots out toxic gas to any oncoming predators. Although they look quite hideous and horrific, they are actually quite friendly and majestic in nature, despite their gaping mouth. And yes, this is a nose on the front. This is called a kran. It is a type of housing. Got a bit inspiration from somewhere else, but it is rather alive itself, and that essentially means it's kind of like a hermit crab in the sense that it can pick itself up using legs and it can walk around, and it kind of has its mind of its own, but also it can be controlled by the inhabitants as well. We have a sort of Seussian character over here called a Selek. So this is kind of a race of all different creatures. This one is sort of a bit like a llama, but also a bit dog, and then some weird thing on its head. But some are a bit furry, some are scaly, and it all depends on like DNA that runs through it, but all of them are very, very different from one another. This is the Izzard J25, which is sort of like a going into the futuristic era of things. So it's quite smooth, it's super, super fast. I took a bit of inspiration from Rick and Morty. It also kind of reminded me of the snow speeders from Star Wars, and then maybe a bit of like Black Panther ships as well, so that was kind of cool. We've got like an arm they can use here, maybe some ray guns, a harpoon, again Star Wars snow runners. We've got the engines here on the back, and then we've got air intakes on the side with a couple pipes. And because this is monochrome March, obviously black and white, I can't do colour, but what I'm thinking I might do is, because everything is meant to be black and white because it is monochrome, I could technically shade it because it's not really colouring, but I also have a gradient of greys and blacks in sort of like Copic felt tip form that I definitely want to use in some way. So I'll be trying that in a part 2 with actually a much larger scale thing, and I'll try to do some of these actually in another challenge that I've got planned, which I'll do at some point at the end of the month. So in the part 2 I'll do something bigger. Bigger project will be sort of like, I'd say, multiple shadows mixed together, and then make one big creature that will go into the universe as well. I'll make a backstory for that over the next week, and hopefully it goes quite well. However, this is the end of the video. Hope you have enjoyed. Did you like the animated start and the format of the video? If you did, feel free to leave a comment, and also maybe subscribe and hit the bell while you're down there. It just notifies you when I upload, and also it shows support, which is great. And here are my socials now, if you want to go follow me there. Other than that, see you in the next one. Goodbye.